Did you know that you are not obligated to live the life of those that you were born to, or that you were raised by, or adopted by, or grew up with? Did you know that you can live your own life, make your own decisions, and make your own you? That's a lot of freedom. And unfortunately, this week I heard from a couple of you something that I'm used to hearing, something that I lived, something that I lived for a long time. And I should be used to hearing it by now, but you guys also, you should be used to me really coming back and saying none of that's true, and it doesn't have to be that way for you. I always talk to you guys about breaking the cycle, but I'm starting to wonder if some of us know what that means. Do we really know what breaking the cycle means? You watched a little video that gave you a little snippet of my life, and like I said yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, that's very much just scratching the surface. My dad was a terrible human being. He was an awful monster of a man, worst I've ever come across in my life, and I've been in the presence of some pretty dangerous people, but I don't think I'm that. And for a long time, I thought that that's what I was going to be. I thought that's what I was limited to in my life, until I realized that I could be me. And it took a long time. And truthfully, if I'm being honest with you, it took until he died and was no longer around for me to really grasp that concept. I could have a long time before that, but I just didn't realize that I could be my own person, regardless of who I came from or where I came from and what I was raised around. You can too. And I think that some of you are failing to see that for yourselves. And what that is it's short-sighted. and it's very narrow-sighted, right? You're only seeing your future right here and right here. You're not seeing the rest of what this world has to offer for you, but more importantly, what you have to offer to the world. You're categorizing yourself in the context of what the way you view yourself, and that is, these were my parents, or these were my grandparents, these were my aunts and uncles, these were my foster parents, and they did these things to me. Therefore, that's what I am. That's my personality. That's who I am at my core, and that's probably what I'm going to do to my kids. And I'll just end up locked up or dealing or using or whatever. I've heard that from you guys this week, and I hear it every week from somebody, but it never doesn't affect me. So I want to just keep reminding you, you're more powerful than that. You have more power than that. You don't. If you believe that of yourself, I'm going to tell you, and this is just real talk. Okay, this is Mr. Ryan being just as real as I can. If you give into that, then you lost. You lost that life. You lost life. That's it. And if you stay in that, I'm not saying every now and then it's something you don't wrestle with, because I did for a long time. I wrestled with that and fought it and wondered, man, am I going to be my dad? Because that's where I came from. That's my DNA, man. I don't want to, but it seems like that's kind of my destiny. And I felt kind of like in a invisible prison because of it. And I know some of you do too, because that's the only world you've known to this point. But I hope you learn it quicker than I did. And I know that you will. You guys are already on that track, and I'm never going to not remind you that you have the power to break the cycle. I did a long time ago. I just didn't have anybody telling me that was a thing. I didn't have to be a victim to everything that happened to me and eventually just fall in line with the same generational thing that happened to me. I can make it different. And I did. Finally, I did. And here I am with you talking about breaking the cycle. And I have 4 kids who won't feel any of what I felt as a person your age, because I chose to break the cycle. And we have a lot of people in this building who work here who did the same thing. And whether or not they choose to share that is their own personal business, but it's very interesting to see, if you really think about it, they changed their life. They changed the lives that come after them for their kids and grandkids, and it just keeps going. A new cycle was made. Isn't that beautiful? That's amazing. Isn't that amazing? You shifted generations of human lives by saying, nope, I don't have to be like them. I don't have to do the same thing. I saw how what they did that hurt me, that affected me. It made me feel less than. It made me feel abused and used and unloved and all the things. I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want it. I deserve better than that, and I don't want to do that to those who come after me. I'm going to break that cycle. You have that power. You do. And if you don't think that, if you don't see that, then you're right here. You can't see any farther than right here, and you gotta work your best to start to identify and really think bigger. You got to think big, man. Life is bigger than what you're seeing it right now. You're stuck in, little bubbles of where you're at because you're a certain age where you can't travel, you can't meet new people and experience new things, but you'll get there and you'll experience new people who want to help you and support you through your life. Not people that want to harm you and take advantage of you and use you and then, spit you out on the other end and not care about what happens to you, because unfortunately that's a lot of our experiences and that's what we're used to. But life is not that, and it doesn't have to be that for you. I've heard some of you guys, essentially this week specifically, kind of, you lost the fight in the moment where you said, that's what my parents did, so I guess that's what I'm going to do. I heard the term this week from one of you, and excuse my language, but you called yourself a fuck up. You're not. You're not a bad kid. And I told you this a couple videos ago. It's never what's wrong with you. It's what happened to you. Reframe it. Rethink it. It's not what's wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. It's what happened to you. So now knowing that, what happened to me, now I can go back and think about it. How did what happened to me affect me? How is it making me think these different things? And how has it affected my decision making? You can start to deconstruct it, and you put the puzzle pieces together. It's not what's wrong with me, because if you say what's wrong with me, that's it, man. There's no solution. You just keep trying to fix something that's broken, and you're not broken. You're not broken. You have a story, you have a history, you might have some trauma in your history. Living proof, right? But that's not the end. You didn't lose. You're going to win. You're going to break that cycle. We're all going to break that cycle. That's what we're doing. And every day, you might not win every day. You might not. I certainly have not won every day. But I'll never stop trying. And I don't want that for you. I never want you to stop trying. So let's go break some cycles, baby. That's what we do.